Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. And to earn this new Ultra title, you've got several upgrades versus the old Z Fold 7, including beefier performance and finally some using the Z Fold 8 Ultra as your full-time smartphone. Well, here's my review. And if you do want to shave a wee bit off that sky-high price, you can use the code AFTechSpurt or click the link in the video description.
Generally, the experience is positive, but there are some negative things as well. Let's start off with the good, though. The first thing is the form factor. This all-new form factor I find to be very comfortable. One-handed use, typically you need to use two hands, but that's not usually that much of an issue. But unless you have huge hands like me, it's not easy to reach completely across the display. In fact, I'd have to scoot it up.
Which one I genuinely cannot put down. Let's get into it. So let's start with how these actually feel to hold, because honestly, that's the thing that's made the biggest difference for me with this generation of fold device.
And like the old Z Fold 7, the Ultra feels reasonably light, certainly for a full-sized foldable, although one-handed use not the most comfortable. It's once again a tall bugger, so it's a real stretch.
It really does deliver. The crease is barely visible on either one. And I mean barely. You have to actually go looking for it. And even running your finger over it, it's just the anti-reflective coating on the interior display is doing some of that work too, since it cuts down glare significantly. And less glare just means the crease reads as less visible. Both
the creases compared to before. It is noticeably improved over the Fold 7 and you can barely feel it while swiping. And after a couple of days of use, I largely stopped noticing it, and this is a big improvement over
thinner than the old Z Fold 7 when unfolded, 4.1 mils versus 4.2. Of course, you can see absolutely subtle difference with the naked eye. And of course, that's only if you ignore the whopping great big
or a bag, and just holding on to it makes it feel substantial. It's definitely a little bit smaller than the previous one with the Z Fold 7 here, so a little bit shorter and basically a little wide.
You visit spoons. So first up, while the design has changed in quite a few ways for the Ultra, certainly as far as looks go, those aesthetics very similar to the old Galaxy Z Fold
phone, unfortunately, not intentionally, within a day of getting it. So I've actually had to see the durability functionality of this device right out of the box. But let's go ahead and check it out. This is TK. Thank you very much. I did say that at the beginning of the video that I did actually drop it, and I just want to kind of show you guys there is a scuff here right there on the camera, and there's also another one that's positioned right up there in the corner. It actually dropped from about 4
and you've got a slight tapering of those edges. Now up front, it's Gorilla Glass ceramic, no pre-installed screen protector, so I would suggest slapping one on there. There's bugger all scratches on there, so
and unfortunately it did tumble, and I did not have a case on it. That was the other big thing. I know Samsung did push out a couple of cases, and those are the ones that you saw in the beginning of the video, but I didn't have any chance at the time to unbox protection to ultimately what I was actually supposed to protect. Unfortunately, they don't actually have a protection on the front. They do include a screen protector, as you can see that right there, and of course it provides a better grip when you're open.
Of time, and when you're spunking out the best part of £2 on a blower, you definitely want to keep it in perfect nick. You got a bit of Victus around back, again no scratches so far, despite the fact I've shoved this smartphone in pockets.
Z Fold 8 and the Ultra, my opinion completely changed. I pre-ordered both of these phones and Samsung actually delivered them much earlier than I expected, which gave me enough time. So instead of reading out the specs you already know, I want to talk about what these phones are actually like to live with every day. Which compromises matter, which ones don't, and is the Ultra
too thick to maybe throw in a pocket, anything like that? If you put a case on it, it really doesn't feel too bulky, other than that it has a little bit of added weight because it's a folding phone with additional hardware here. But generally,
in the description. Alright, let's start with the media consumption, because this is where almost everyone says the Fold 8 wins. And overall, I agree, but not in every situation. For example, it's actually better because the taller display lets you see more content at once. The same goes for watching vertical videos on the cover screen. The Ultra simply gives you a larger image.
Display outdoors. The max brightness rises from 2600 to 3000 nits, and the new anti-reflective coating makes the display much nicer to use in bright environments. Pixel density also rises from 300.
The Fold 8 delivers the better experience despite being the smaller device. take watching videos on the main display. They actually look noticeably bigger on the Fold8. Now, a lot of comparison looks dramatically larger, but that's not how most people watch the videos. The moment you rotate the Ultra in landscape, that advantage almost disappears. Yet despite that, the Fold8
two 6.5-inch phone displays side by side, allowing you to run two full-size apps together. Like when I'm researching a video, I'll have my browser on one side and notes on the other, or say YouTube and Amazon if icons, articles, images, it's all a joy to experience, and it really does feel like a tablet. Now, unlike on the Fold8, the Fold8 Ultra has Flex Mode, which lets you prop it up at an angle and
Of course, I do like one thing here, especially when you're typing on the keyboard. You have this wider keyboard. It makes it more comfortable to use, especially just typing two hands like I always do anyway, and I find it much better to use.
Controls on the bottom half. I like this feature and use it often at my desk while I'm working. Watching videos, shows, movies are great on the Fold8 Ultra, much better than on any non-folding phone. But this is where the
Z Fold 7, for example. So I really enjoy this form factor and find it to be great for doing things such as watching videos and more. Now, it is a bit odd at first. The outer display is far.
And I've gathered enough to actually give you some real guidance on this, especially if you're trying to decide between the Z Fold 8 and the more traditional Z Fold 8 Ultra. So I'm going to walk you through it.
And together, those changes make a much bigger difference than I expected. But it still isn't perfect though, and there are a few important things that you should know about before buying. I really enjoyed using the main display.
Genuinely light. And honestly, I was surprised by how much. I'm usually the person who needs some kind of grip, like a pop socket on the back of every phone that I review, just so I don't drop it. Necessity. The Ultra's a different story though. It's basically the same size as the Fold 7. And for someone with smaller hands like me, reaching the top of that screen is genuinely a stretch.
They've rounded them off, but I do find that they do push into your palm a little bit if you're using it without a case. So just keep that in mind, especially on this corner where the hinge is. But generally, the form factor is nice.
Great bugger. Doesn't really work as a finger shelf to add a bit of stability. And of course, it's all quite slippery to clutch. And of course, the same story when you actually open this bugger up as well. Still yanking
you on the channel. Now, of course, make sure to check out the reels if you'd like to check out the unboxings of these devices. And of course, here they are. We have obviously both of them in a shade of purple. There's more of a brighter and darker purple here, specifically for the Z Fold 8 Ultra. And that's going to be this one. Again, I'll give you guys a link in the description below if you'd like to check those out. But at their core, there is a few differences between these devices that ultimately makes this an Ultra